Right out of the gate, this isn't some petty theft. We're talking about identity theft targeting the elderly. In Texas, that's like waving a red flag at the legal system. Judges here don't play when seniors are the victims. So already, the stakes are sky high.
You have been indicted for the second-degree felony of fraud using apparently fraudulently using identifying information of an elderly individual, namely credit cards, debit card, Social Security, driver's license, without the consent of the elderly person. So if convicted, you are looking at no less than 2 nor more than 20 years confinement in prison and a fine up to $10,000. You understand what you're charged with and the punishment range applicable if convicted?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't stop there. I'm looking at page 2 of the indictment. People in criminal law are punished based upon the circumstances of the crime and criminal history. You've got a rich criminal history. I'm looking at a burglary of a motor vehicle conviction.
Sir.
You're going to interrupt me? Well, let me speak, and then you can talk. This states that on paragraph 2 of the indictment that you were convicted in 1990 in this court, and I was just a youngster, I guess, of burglary of a motor vehicle. Thereafter, that was fine. The next paragraph, the next paragraph, paragraph 3 states that you were on January 24th, 1991 in this court, cause number 55194. It says you were convicted of of sexual assault, a second-degree felony. After those prior convictions were finalized, paragraph 4 goes on to state that you committed the offense of aggravated robbery, a first-degree felony, and you were convicted of that in 2004 in the 252nd Judicial District Court next door. What this means and how this affects you is if all of this was true, you are deemed to be an habitual felony defendant, which means you are looking at the punishment range now for you is not less than.
And there it is, the hammer drops. Once you're labeled an habitual offender, the minimum jumps to 25 years. That's the legal system saying, you had your chances and you blew them. Quick question, do you think stacking old convictions like this is fair? Or does it trap people in a cycle they can't escape?
25 years in prison, that's the minimum, up to life in prison. Do you understand what you're facing? Okay. Well, Mr. Dusler here is representing you. Are you employed somewhere?
No, sir. I was at Jack in the Bus, but they never did call me.
I can't hear you, sir.
I said I was at Jack in the Bus, but they never did call me.
When was the last time you were employed?
Was it great?
Why? Why aren't you working somewhere? Is it because of your criminal history?
Yes.
But okay, so how do you exist? I mean, you got to eat and sleep and things like that. Where do you?
This moment right here, painfully real. The judge is basically asking, how do you even survive out here? And the answer is tough. Living off mom, scraping by on a tiny check. It's a reminder that poverty and crime often run side by side. Doesn't excuse it, but it explains a lot.
How do you pay for?
It's hard out here.
Sir?
It's hard out here, Joe. It's hard out here.
Yes, sir. Well, I can imagine it is. But how do you do it if you've got zero income? I don't understand. How can you do that?
It's what I'm saying. I've been no dash, kind of small.
Where do you live? This says 5695 Sunbird Lane. Is that a home? A house?
Yes, with my mom.
With your mother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a vehicle? No? How do you get around? Your mom drives you? Okay, food. Who buys that for you? Your mom?
Yeah, I get a welfare, $291 a month, that's all.
Well,
but these charges I have against me right now in front of you, I I took a purse out of the radio.
That's, hold on.
Okay, but
Yeah, we don't want to. There's the prosecutor. You start volunteering anything, he can use it to help his case. So talk to him. There's your confidence man right there, your attorney. But the a case gets investigated by the police, then it goes to the district attorney's office. They review it. If they accept it and feel like it's worthy of moving forward, if it's a felony, it goes in front of the grand jury. And then the grand jury makes the decision. So don't be blaming him. It's gone through 3 sets of reviews, and here it is. Now it's in my court. So what we do is 2 options. We'll try the case in front of a jury, or it gets disposed of in a way without a jury. Most cases are that way anyway, by agreed dispositions. Here, once again, if the problem you have is any crime that's a felony above a state jail felony that you commit, you're looking at the rest of your life, no less than 25 years up to life in prison. But there's a way to avoid all of that. Is don't get in trouble, and make the right choices. Also, when was the last time you said you had an income, though? I mean, people are here in front of, I've got thousands of people. I've got 2,500 defendants at any given time here. And some of them are just like you, sir. But they're working. They're working. Very few are. Hold on, you get a chance to speak. When we both speak over each other, the court reporter can't take both people speaking. And the Supreme Court has said if the court reporter is interrupted.
Pause for a second. This is the courtroom etiquette lesson. Judges don't just care about law, they care about order. If you talk over each other, it messes up the transcript. And trust me, if there's ever an appeal, that transcript is gold. It's like the instant replay in sports. Every word counts.
Somebody gets in trouble. It's not going to be me. Now, so, because I'm not going to speak over you, but those are the rules. And it's rhetorical question. Just people are here and they're working in spite of the criminal history. They find work. You got to find work. It's to make yourself independent, not live off your mom. I mean, that's brutally honest, but it's the way it is. And people are working who have criminal histories like yours in this court because they are hiring lawyers too, and they're not dependent upon others. You seem like you're healthy. You ought to be able to find something if you really want to be independent. That's my statement. All right. So Mr. Dusler is a very good lawyer. He's one of the public defenders, and he's going to help you on this case. And you have to know this is a most serious situation when anybody's looking at up to life in prison, and that's what happens when you have a criminal history like this. Any third-degree felony or above puts you in harm's way of life imprisonment from here on. That's why the best thing to do is stay away from trouble. Now, I'm going to let you talk to him, and we're going to, so you can, have you ever talked to him yet? Okay. Meet him here in a little bit. He'll discuss some things with you. He's a smart man. It'd be wise to follow his advice, but it's at the end of the day, your choice. This is the kind of thing that may be workable. I'm looking at the facts of this case, and maybe there's something that everybody can agree on. If not, that's what jury trials are for, and we tried 600. So we like trying cases. But talk to him, then he'll get back with me, and we'll decide what the next step is. Okay, thank you. Just stand by, and I'll go to Joey Childress. You can have a seat, sir. Joey Childress, that's you, sir. Come on up. Not yet. Yeah, I'm letting him talk to the defendant. Has been on probation since 2022. I believe we placed you on deferred or unadjudicated probation January 27th. So that's about 3.5 years.
Yes, sir.
And you were placed on probation for 5 years for the third-degree felony of assault, family violence. The court has received a report and also has received a motion for early release from probation filed on behalf of the defendant by his attorney. And
Here comes the curveball, early release from probation. Think of it like parole light. The probation office is cautious, suggesting inactive probation instead of full release. It's basically probation with training wheels. Fewer check-ins, but you're still on the hook if you mess up.
the court has also received a report from Mr. Hill from probation on this case. Have you seen this?
No, sir.
Yeah. Here is what I highlighted in yellow, which I think is the bullet point on all of that, where the position is going to be that the probation office is taking on. You have earned reward, but the probation office, from his standpoint, feels like termination at this point ought to be kind of put on hold, but you would be placed on inactive probation and weaning you off for a year, seeing how you do. And if all is well there, we would reconsider this, and it would be obviously likely that you would be then terminated from probation, and this case would be then dismissed. The inactive probation consists of just a couple of things you have to do, and he'll go over that with you, but you're not going to have to do all that. You're facing, what is it, 30 some odd?
He's completed everything.
Yeah, 30 some odd. I think we're just, you have, 34 conditions. And really, at the end of the day, what would he have to do in inactive? What would be his requirement? Just stay out of trouble, which is what we all have to do. And that goes without saying. But what are his affirmative obligations in an inactive probation?
Yes, sir. He's to commit no offense against this state, any other state.
I bet you he's going to follow that one.
Avoid injurious or vicious habits.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, these are all things all of us have to really follow.
Avoid persons or places of disreputable or harmful character.
Run with a good crowd.
Work faithful at suitable employment.
Are you working somewhere?
No.
Okay.
Well, the thing
You're trying to find out?
I had a job. I was working with Chevron on the third party company.
Yes, sir.
They changed some things within their ruling or whatever. And this came up, this case, by me being referred to the case, I guess the severity of the case, they had let me go because of this. And this is why I'm here today, to try to see if I can get off and complete so I can get back to what I do for a living.
Okay. We'll take it up. What else?
Support all his dependents, abstain from use or possession of any drugs, and never become intoxicated or under the influence of any intoxicating substance.
Okay. See, all of those are the conditions I have to follow too.
Yes, sir.
So there's no difference there. Now, on this job deal, and did you have a good relationship with the boss?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, here's maybe the boss doesn't understand what inactive probation means and how that is different from active probation. That would seem to me to be a problem with a job.
It's the ISTC in the fleet. Okay.
So you can't have a pending charge. It's got to be, it's pending.
Yes, sir. And next would be a level 5, which in the state of Texas that to be a level 2 to migrate through different plants in Texas.
Yeah. Okay. What we're going to do is, look, go ahead. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah.
I have a plan.
Okay.
But I want you to be heard in the state.
Well, we are asking, obviously, that we believe he's completed everything. He's been on for over 3 years at this point, on a 5-year deferred adjudicated probation, Your Honor. It is affected, obviously, with work. And so we are asking that if the court doesn't grant it today, that we not have to wait a whole year for this, since he's obviously completed everything at this point.
Stay.
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Hill. I think he's also okay if he was terminated today. That was just a recommendation. I'd let him, speak to that. I think hearing this about the job issue, obviously would want defendant here to be working Mr. Wallace. And I think he has, according to Mr. Hill, he's done well on his probation. I don't think we'd be opposed to termination, but obviously I think Mr. Hill also said whatever the court.
I always buy into that, the weaning part of it.
Yes, sir.
I like that, the transition, but then again, it's specific to the individual and how they're doing. I mean, if they're doing well, reward the people. Would there be any objection if I followed the request of the defense and terminated the probation today and dismissed the case?
The only reason for my recommendation, Your Honor, is the assaulting nature of the offense.
Let me ask you about that. That's a good point here. What's the is this person's the complainant here still related to you?
Well, she's my ex-wife.
Ex-wife.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have gotten a divorce?
Yes, sir. But we still,
Do you see her?
yeah, I have. We still co-parent.
You have a child
We
or
have 2
two?
kids too. Yeah.
You got 6 years.
We still co-parent.
How does that work?
Oh, it's better than ever. I mean, I had to do what I had to do, own up to what I did, and it's been great. I had to learn a lot of learning to do, a lot of growing to do. But
What did you learn? Because this is, I've never choked anybody in my life. I can't even imagine because, it's brutal. Sometimes people lose their composure and lose their temper. But if you put your hands around somebody's neck and score.
This is heavy. The judge spells it out. Putting your hands around someone's neck leaves no room for excuses. It's not losing your temper. It's playing with life and death. Notice how he personalizes it. Someone you pledged love to. That emotional gut punch hits harder than any legal term. Right out of the gate, this isn't some petty theft. We're talking about identity theft targeting the elderly. In Texas, that's like waving a red flag at the legal system. Judges here don't play when seniors are the victims. So already the S.
Please, there's only one intent there. I mean, that's to seriously injure or kill. And you don't do that to anyone unless you're defending yourself. Certainly someone you pledged love to. That doesn't make any sense at all. Because everybody's got good times and bad times in a relationship. We work through it without assault. Would you've been on this for longer than normal would be, but the criminal history kind of always finds people and that follows you. That's why you want to avoid that. criminal history, you gotta carry that around your whole life. It wears you down. But, this is, it's a disturbing set of facts. But probation office feels as though you're worthy. Everybody else does, so the court will grant the motion
Thank
for
you.
early release. I don't want to see you back in here.
I thank you for the class.
I know, everybody says that, but really own up to the promise. Because I see people back here, in spite of what they say, you gotta walk the walk, not just talk the talk, right?
Yes, sir.
Put this into action, be the best person you can be, follow the rules. And remember, when you assault like your spouse or ex-spouse, your children, what are they gonna do? You're role modeling all the time for your children, all the time. That's what a parent is. The example, the role model. What would you expect them to do when they lose their composure with someone, especially someone they pledge love to? You can't blame them if they start choking somebody. That you set the example. Fix that. You gotta always remember, it's not just your life on this planet. You brought people and children into this world, and you're responsible for the way they have become to a great degree. A parent is the most impressionable factor in a child's life. But you gotta act.